Okay, so thank you for coming. We are really happy to be here between friends, let's say, it's between friends. And we're going to talk about the future of masculinity, about what men are going to be like in the future, hopefully, inshallah. And we'll talk about stereotypes, so anything that you want to share with us, any questions, any comments, feel free. We won't introduce the speakers. They will, because it's boring, let's be clear. And we'll go on, start with the talks directly. For me, the idea was, when we had the idea with Najam to talk about masculinity, I came to the last SOT, and we talked about gender. But when we talk about gender, we all the time talk about women, right? So the idea was to say, okay, gender equity is fantastic. It's great to work on women empowerment, but are we really empowering our men as well or not? So we're going to talk about this today. I'd like to ask Salman to start with. I'll start with the women, because we've been trapped, men and women, in boxes for a very long time. You know, we're socialized in different gender roles. And there are many initiatives here in Pakistan trying to shatter a little these images. So I'll ask a few of the panel members what they think about this. And I'd like to know more about how Salman is breaking the stereotypes for women in Punjab.
Thank you very much. As we were discussing that, women are always looked at from a very different perspective when it comes to Pakistan or India or Bangladesh. We share this common notion that women are subjected, should be subjected to their households. They should be listening to their male counterparts more. They should be doing some certain chores in their life, and they should be always following the lead of their male leader in the household. So in Punjab, when we started this initiative of Special Monitoring Unit, we wanted to make sure that we bring some reforms in which actually change that on the ground, and it's not just limited to seminars or talks like this. So there's actually some change when we leave this room. There's actually some change that you can actually see on ground, and women are actually empowered by it. They're not just listening to some fancy talk or fancy, they're not reading some fancy, article, which at the end of the day doesn't do anything for them. So we, first of all, we drafted Pakistan's first comprehensive legislation, which is called Punjab Protection of Women Against Violence Act. We got it passed last year in February. Then we came up with the implementation mechanism of the act, which is called Violence Against Women Centers. These centers are one-stop, areas of where women victims of violence can come, and they won't have to go anywhere after that. Like all the police registration, medical, forensics, and prosecution will be done right there for them, and they will be given shelter there as well. Then we initiated Women on Wheels. We started with just 45 girls. I still remember the day when we launched this, and we were sitting in the police office, and we were thinking that maybe somebody will show up and maybe nobody will show up, because after all, we were talking about Pakistan here. But to our surprise, there were over 100 girls that showed up. We trained them, and then we arranged their rally, which you can see the pictures of. It was a massive, massive success. Our UN women, my friend Jamshed here, he was a partner with us in this reform. And now we have this reform across 5 districts of Punjab, and we have trained over 3,000 girls who know how to ride bikes, and we're giving them subsidized motorbikes in a couple of months, which will be the sea change in Pakistani society. When they will come on the road, they will send the message, not just to Pakistan, but to the world as well, that we're not here just to stay at home. We're not here to just do what you want us to do. We're here to take charge. We will take charge, and we will show that we are equal participants and equal partners in the development of Pakistan.
Okay. So I hear some clapping, but who is actually able to ride a bike here? Raise your hand. Come on. So that's the next thing. The next thing is either you go and see Salman, or you go and ask people around you to, how did you learn? Yeah? You went on the bike and that's it. You fell sometimes? No? Twice. Okay. See? Because they say, I mean, I read a Harley Davidson study not so long ago. They say that women who ride bikes are happier and sexier. Just saying.
I second that.
All right. See? Okay, Sadia, what do you do to break the stereotypes in Karachi and all over Pakistan?
So what we do is we talk about women's negotiation with public spaces. And I know it's a little different in Islamabad, not completely, but a little bit, it varies from city to city. But there is this idea in our society that a woman alone on the streets, whether she's walking or if she's loitering, and especially if she's out alone at night, must be a bad woman. Where is her husband? Where is her father? And you'll hear these kind of responses not just from the people in your family, but also from random shopkeepers or street hawkers who'll be like, you know, Baji, aap andar aa jaye. Baji, why do you want to hang around here? So what Girls at Dhabas does is we basically record and we chronicle photographs and stories of women and different kinds of women in public spaces. So this is a photograph of a group of us in Karachi when we started hanging out at Dhabas a lot. And you can see that you don't see one kind of woman here, and I think that's part of the conversation also, is that when we talk about femininity or masculinity, it can't be a narrow-minded, one-dimensional idea of what that looks like. And I think it goes hand in hand. So if we're talking about stereotypes that women are exposed to, that affects the stereotypes that men are supposed to live up to, you can't talk about one without talking about the other. So as we deconstruct what womanhood looks like or what femininity looks like in public spaces, we hope that conversation then goes on to talking about what masculinity looks like in public spaces.
So again, who here feels comfortable going at Dabas? I'm asking the women.
Alone.
Alone, like alone or in between women? One.
Okay.
Tina loves it.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Okay. So what are you, tell us about, so you're spreading in different places? What do you do
So we
concretely?
started by just talking about our own daily experiences at Dhabas, and then we started organizing events. So one of the events we do in Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad is we gather a bunch of women and then we go dhaba hopping. So we go to different public spaces. We also do Girls on Bikes, which is cycles. So there was an incident of harassment in Lahore last year where a girl was attacked by a bunch of boys in a car while she was riding a bike alone. And in response to that, Girls at Dhabas, we banded with critical mass, and we had an all-women rally, girls on bicycles in Karachi and Lahore. The next one is happening on 2nd April. I want to follow up on what Salman said. One of the things we're doing is we're going to be having free classes for girls to learn how to ride a bicycle and eventually motorbikes. So do sign up for that if you don't know how to ride a bike.
So many women on bikes. Dina, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm also breaking stereotypes with women. I understand that also masculinity is a big issue in many countries, especially also Middle East and Pakistan, all these countries.
Tell us where you come from first.
Oh yeah, I come from Jordan. If you know falafel, if you want falafel anytime you go to Jordan, it's the best. Hummus also. There.
Lebanon, no.
No. Okay, so my name is Lina. I come from Jordan. I'm the founder of She Fighter, the first self-defense studio for women in the Middle East. We train and empower women physically and psychologically how to defend themselves from any attacks, even if it was domestic violence, harassment. We build self-confidence with women, and we actually are creating leaders of the future, I would say. So they're not just training how to defend themselves, they're gonna also become trainers to train other areas and other countries. And for example, we have trained about 2,000 Syrian refugees. I don't do it by myself. I have a team. They're all females, and they are doing the training in many, many areas. As I'm here as well, they are also doing some other job in somewhere else. We are spreading She Fighter because it's really important to train women how to defend themselves, because it actually builds self-confidence. And when you build self-confidence, women will start feeling more independent. They can feel that they have a voice in society, and they want to make a change. I come from a background in martial arts. I have a black belt in Taekwondo, 3 Dan, injuries, so many injuries, I'm kidding. And I have about 20 gold medals. By the way, my voice is like, because I'm sick. I have about 20 gold medals, 3 of them international, and I have Kung Fu expertise and boxing. So why I decided to do this? Because my friend got abused at the university from her father and brother. She was attacked really badly, and she came with bruises. And I was sick of the situation of women just crying and feeling that they can't do anything. They don't want to report, they can't report, and they can't defend themselves. So I said, that's it, I'm gonna start training women in the basement of my parents' house. I didn't take it seriously at all at that time because I thought it's just a hobby. And then I said, after 2 years, I need to start the first self-defense studio for women. And I founded She Fighter in 2012. It became a huge success. We have trained more than 12,000 women. We have, and yeah, we...
And are you coming to Pakistan?
Sure, definitely.
Okay. So, shall we make them work a little?
Do you want to do some easy technique while you are sitting, maybe?
Sitting or standing?
Standing.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
Okay.
Stand and look at your partner beside you, but stand. You have to stand from the chair.
We can do it as well.
I don't need the mic, so...
Come on, we gotta do it. Okay. So, look at you.
Yeah.
So, okay,
You don't have a mic now.
Okay. So, let's do a simple technique because I know, you're sitting, I want you to move. So, let's say if somebody chokes you, because usually when there is an attack, usually the attacker, they don't want you to scream or ask for help. So either they go like this or go like this all the time, or like slap you just to make your voice go away. So, so you choke me like this. Yeah. Very soft choke. Okay, so what are you gonna do to break this? It's very easy technique. Either if the hand is really big and strong, you go for the last thumb, this one, finger. You break it. If it's really strong, this one is very strong. Yeah, and you hit between the legs, of course. Well, the second technique, we want to break this as well. So we raise our hands, one. No, choke each other.
Choke each other?
One, raise your hand. That's okay. You just keep on choking me. And 2.
Okay.
Try to practice it with, a friend. Don't hit your brother or...
So what we decided is that we're going to improvise a teaching session. So 4 p.m. today, at 4 p.m. if you want, outside, where they have the SOT hashtag. Yeah? You're coming? So we're going to practice.
Oh yeah, I'll give a demonstration for 20 minutes, some simple techniques, so if you want to join.
Can I make a quick point?
Yeah, go for it.
I just want to say that while I encourage all women to learn self-defense, we have to remember that that's not all of the solution that there is, because once again it becomes a matter of putting the weight on the women to protect themselves, and this sort of an initiative has to go hand in hand with teaching men not to attack, or having a culture where you can take for granted that if you're outside, you will not be bothered or attacked by anybody.
Can I answer?
Yeah, of course.
I totally understand, but what you can see in the whole world has violence in it. You can't stop violence at any point. There is no peaceful word. There is no perfect word at all. Violence will happen. If we try, let's say, to talk to, and they usually talk to men a lot. So let's say you talk to 10 men at the same room, but one of them rape women. Mm-hmm. Is he gonna actually come up and say, I will change my mind, I will stop raping women? I really don't think so. Mm-hmm. I think by actually training women how to defend themselves in that situation, the men knows that women are not weak anymore. They can stand up for themselves, so they will think 2 times before actually harassing a woman. I believe it's not the only choice, I believe that, but also I believe it's one of the solutions to almost erase harassment and sexual assault. Because if you, in life, so if you are, let's say, strong and you have a little kid, he's weaker, you're gonna bully the little kid, but you're not gonna bully a big man, right? because also men between themselves, they actually look also at body size. So they're not going to go for big men size, they're going to go for little men size, so they can actually be stronger than them. And that's, I believe, how life it goes. So that's it.
Okay, but Sadia offered the perfect transition. Because now we're going to talk about men. That was the objective of the panel, so let's talk about men a little more. So my question is actually talking about the boxes. We talk about the stereotypes we're breaking for women through motorbikes, through occupying more of the public spaces, or through teaching them how to fight. I'd like to know which are the boxes that are actually trapping our men, and what is the consequences of this? And Jamshed, I'm going to start with you on this.
Wow, what a phenomenal panel. Thank you so much. I want to start by first saying that, we talk about thinking outside the box. And I think here we have to do not just think outside the box, but live outside the box. And when we think about masculinity, oftentimes it strikes us as masculinity being the polar opposite of femininity, which it really isn't. Because if you look at Chinese philosophy of the yin and yang, the darkness and the light, they coexist, they're interconnected, they're interwoven, and they mutually reinforce each other. So I think clearly this dichotomy we've got to sort of get rid of. The other thing about masculinity, I guess, is that if you look at children, by the age of 5, there is already, some studies have shown that there is a bit of gender arrogance that creeps into children by age 5. It persists with boys over time, but it dissipates in girls. Now, it begs the question, do we want a society where each gender thinks they are smarter, more capable than the other, whether it's in the school, whether it's in the workplace, or whether it's in the sports field, or do we want one which is equal? And if it is the latter, then I think it really is about working more with the boys and the men to make sure that they're much more comfortable with their own shortcomings, their weaknesses and vulnerabilities. It's extremely hard, exceedingly hard for a man to say that he was wrong on anything. And
that's one of the boxes for you, like say, okay, I made a mistake, I'm wrong. That's one of the boxes.
I'm sorry.
Like, oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, how many times do you hear that from men opposed to how many times you hear it from women? It's just, just take a poll anywhere. So I think that, again, this whole notion of having to be strong, which means macho, which means you have to be feared, you have to be assertive, all those characteristics that if a woman takes on, she's called bossy, and many other less polite things. So I think that's really, and again, the fear of letting your guard down and men saying, well, actually, no, this is something I cannot do. Yeah. Or I can't be the protector, I can't be the provider. There is so much of stigma attached. So I think men have to learn to unlearn all the things that they've been socialized, and it's pretty hard work. And it's a difficult conversation, but it's a conversation we need to have.
Okay. Who wants to intervene on that, on the man box? Who has an idea on Sadia? Yeah, I saw you were writing.
Yes, I was doodling, drawing. I think one of the most dangerous things that we teach boys and men is that they can't show emotion, and they can't cry, and they can't be as sentimental, and this idea that women are sentimental and men are macho and therefore do not feel or do not express their feelings, that mard ko dard nahi hota hai, that's something we hear. So I think what that does is you're preventing men from having a fully human experience at the end of the day, because emotions make life so much richer, and vulnerability makes life so much richer. And when you're from day one, you're teaching, and this starts with like the toys you get, right? You get a soldier, you get the army little sets, and the girls get like more feminine toy gifts. But you're telling them that this is how you behave and this is how you don't behave. And then in school, when you're a teenager as a boy, and then you're going through bullying or body changes and whatever it is, and you're not able to express your confusion or your vulnerability, or if you're upset fully with your peers, because then the pressure comes from other boys to boys that, why are you acting like a girl, tumne kya chudiyan pehen rakhi hain, that kind of language. So it's reinforcing something that they then take on to adulthood when they become a husband or a father, and then the cycle just continues. So I think emotions for me is something huge that men are almost taught to control and not express as much, and it damages men themselves.
Yeah, I want to say also, because I run a self-defense studio for girls and women, I get also lots of boys telling me, can you open a section for boys? Because usually in our society in the Middle East, usually boys play all kind of martial arts, jiu-jitsu, judo, whatever, and every time these boys, these weaker boys get really bullied and beaten up every time they go to school. So if they go to, let's say, a martial arts school for boys, they're gonna also be beaten up. So I decided to give them more as private sessions, not with the girls, because these boys are being beaten up a lot at schools, and there is no actually like a real solution for bullying, because with all the boys who are at school, there are going to be some boys who are bigger in size, especially age of 11, 12, 13. This size is the most, this age is the most age that they start bullying each other. The boys started hitting each other. The girls started bullying each other by saying, you smell bad, you have bad hair, these more verbal words. So I believe also because we have so much pressure on men, we want them to be really responsible, masculine, and take control of everybody's life. Like if they start a family, they have to take over everything, they have to be in charge. We have also high rate of honor crimes because sometimes the man go through depression, he lose it, and he goes back, he kills his wife, and maybe his kids. We had also a situation in Jordan where there is a man who totally lost control, and he got his 2 kids with him, and he was going to jump off a bridge. And everybody was trying to stop him, but he totally couldn't, he was totally blind, he didn't see anything but death, the solution. So I think also social pressure is really bad on men, asking them to be, a husband who provides everything, especially we have a problem with economic situation big time in many countries, and men by themselves, they can't just keep working and working and working and provide everything for the home. Women has to work as well. And I have been also really upset about this situation as well in Jordan, because women, they are really well educated, they finish master degrees, PhD, but they choose when they get married not to work. They choose, totally their choice. They just sit at home, socialize, raise kids, and if there is any opportunity for work, they choose not to. And I was thinking about this with my colleague as well. You have the same also thoughts, right? About this, about people, women also in Pakistan, right?
If I can just jump in, yes. I mean, the problem is similar in that there is a lot of investment in education in Pakistan and a lot of women going into secondary, tertiary education, but I'm not so sure whether their absence from the workforce is necessarily a choice that they have themselves made. It is a combination of factors. I mean, it's about if women choose to stay at home, it is a choice one has to respect. But I think here it's much more than that. It's about opportunities, it's about transportation, mobility to work, harassment at work, public spaces, a whole range of issues come around. So it's not so clear cut, but the challenges are similar across.
But okay, basically what we're talking about here is how men are also trapped in a very narrowed vision of what it means to be a man, and this has a tremendous impact on them in terms of well-being, and also in terms that goes, what are the consequences? You talked about some, but Salman, what are the consequences in terms of health for the men, in terms of crime, in terms of what this pressure cooker of men, what does it lead to?
I believe that some things are a part of your upbringing, but some things are part of your whole personality as well. We can't always control the narrative. We can't always control everything. When you're growing up, some things are part of your personality, and they evolve with time as you see different elements of society play their part, your family playing a part in it. So when you try to control the narrative with women or men, it limits the ability and they fail to realize the full potential of the partnership they can develop along with females. I mean, like, it can be a controversial thought, but I mean, like, I really believe that the word feminism or the word masculinity, they actually don't serve the purpose that we're all trying to achieve. They actually divide people into different groups, and each group is trying to raise their own issues and solve their identity issues that are associated with these words. So it divides and bifurcates the world into two kind of people. When you talk about men and women, I think if we limit that conversation to, as a human being, there's some rights and some responsibilities that can be shared with by anyone, may it be a guy or may it be a girl. So
Yep. I mean, we talk always about the data of, oh my God, patriarchal society is terrible for the women because of the violence. 1 in 3 women will be exposed to violence. What is the risk for the men? What is the number of crimes committed by the man? What is the number of imprisonment of the man? What is the stat on depression, suicide? And it's not only Salman, but what is the impact? Because our men are suffering, that's the idea.
See, as I was saying, like, because you are confining them to certain roles, so some things that they want to do, they cannot do. And when they are forced to do those things, then their real personality stays hidden. And once it gets the opportunity to break free, then they don't find that opportunity to be in alignment with their societal, the conditioning and the society that they're living in. So then they resort to violence, then they resort to all sorts of activities which are antisocial, which limit a women's role in the society as well, and which actually brings them to someone which they themselves don't realize. When we were working on Punjab Protection of Women Against Violence Act, that's why when I was answering your question, it was very surprising that most of the crimes committed against women were by women as well. So, but we were so used to of looking at something, for example, if there's a complaint that comes to me that this woman is being harassed, the first thought that comes to my mind is it's going to be a guy who's doing it. But that is not the case. I've plenty of examples that, mothers are doing it, mother-in-laws are doing it, sisters are doing it, friends are doing it. So when we limit these things, then we try to look at things from a certain perspective, and that changes the whole narrative.
So it's a domination society. It's a question of domination versus partnership more than a question of genders, right?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Sadia, no? Go, Sadia.
I want to respond to something that Salman Saab said earlier about feminism. And so I do think, I see your point about why talking with genders in mind, like man, woman, is kind of reinforcing the binary, because then you're making these categories. But I think the reason why, I think it can be dangerous to dismiss feminism as a word that is used, because I don't think it's about man and woman, I think it's about femininity. So when we talk about a feminist movement, it is one that seeks to stop demonizing femininity, which is an aspect of both men and women. So if we talk about women who are more commonly associated with femininity, while that might not be the case, if you're a woman and you're feminine, you're lower, you're on the hierarchical ladder, you're lower. But even within masculine bodies or men, there is a hierarchy where men who are more feminine, who might have less body hair or might have what we call man boobs, they're kind of targeted and harassed for those traits which are registered as feminine traits. So I think when we talk about feminism, you can't think of it as this black and white male versus female sort of discussion. It's really about stopping to demonize femininity, whether it is within men or women or transgenders. We have to remember there are more genders than just two. So I wanted to make that point.
I agree with what you're saying, but from where I was coming from, this is how you see as feminism, or how I see as feminism. Mm-hmm. But once this concept is out in public, you really can't control how people look at feminism. Especially because when we are implementing these reforms, we identify that once somebody tries to champion the rights of women or men, they try to hijack that whole narrative, and then the whole narrative tries to take shape according to how they want. You will be surprised how many female activists were against these empowerment initiatives that we're taking, because in their mindset, this was not what feminism
I mean,
requires.
it's what you were saying before, and there was this article saying that actually the mothers are responsible of shaping our boys into the man box, right?
Right, but
so,
I think you can't see these as separate things happening in society, right? If mothers are forcing women to behave a certain way or men to behave a certain way, it's because this exists in a patriarchal society where if they do not further certain social norms, the consequences are going to impact them. So for example, if my mother, who polices the way I dress at home, stops doing that, stops telling me what to wear when I leave the house, we might fight or whatever, but in the end, it's my father who will attack her in sometimes with words or more, because she is not controlling her daughter according to notions of social femininity. So I disagree respectfully, and I think that it is only when people like us take up the narrative and whether we become the face of it or whether we start an initiative or whatever it is, that we begin to define what it means for the rest of us.
finally, sorry, go for it, Sadia.
Yeah.
Finally, we have a panel where people disagree. I love it. Because every panel, everybody is like, yeah, I agree, everything agrees. So good, that's good.
We're gonna have a fight here, so.
Yeah, anyway, you can train us.
You can witness. Okay, so I believe in one thing. I believe we have to stop complaining. We have to stop talking all the time, talking, especially in different I would say, organizations, talking about the issues of society and focus on solutions. So when we put our power in solutions, we're gonna actually make changes. I also believe that feminism should be also an act more than also, I believe I'm sure feminists everywhere change so many laws for women, but also actions. Actions can change a lot, for example, what to do to stop domestic violence, how to stop domestic violence, is also speaking to a group of people is gonna reduce domestic violence. It's not working, let's do something else. So let's more focus on solutions than just complaining about the problems in society. I'm telling you, I've been to Europe, I've been to many countries, advanced countries and third world countries. All of them are complaining. They have always problems, but you complain a lot. Why don't you focus on solution and stop complaining? So when we have solutions, we're gonna have a better structure for the society. For example, I found solution, I like it, the domestic violence and harassment. I found the best solution for it. Okay, let's stop talking here and start training women. So I stopped talking for a while. I still talk in conferences, and training. But I started acting. So these small acts actually changing women's lives. For example, there was a girl who was training at Chief Fighter for 3 months. She never had any self-defense background. She was attacked in the elevator exactly in her own building. There was a big stranger who came inside, choked her, and he tried to rape her. So what she did, she panicked, of course. She didn't expect it. And she couldn't breathe, and she couldn't ask for help. Some people think, if you have something in your back, take it off. No, you don't have any time to react because you're panicking. So she started just pushing him because she was in a shock. Then there were so many noises in the elevator until he was afraid to be caught. He escaped the elevator. She got angry and chased him to the street. And she asked some men to help her catch him. They caught him. Then she started punching him on the face so many times. He was bleeding. Then the police came, of course. They were eating falafel too, so they were late. So anyway, she put charges against him in court, and he put charges against her. And she won the case to put him in jail for 3 years for sexual assault. For me, that's a change. That's a change in the society. It's not by just telling women what to do, is training women what to do. It's exactly like how you are training to ride a car or a motorbike. You have to be trained in order to ride the bike. You have to be trained in order to face violence. You have to be trained all the time. That's what I believe the right solution for anything.
Okay, so let's talk about solutions. First, I'd like to ask Jamshed and each member of the panel, who is the future man? we talk a lot about the future women, how they will be, how they will not be, but we never talk about the future of men. So Jamshed, in 3 words, and I'm going to ask 3 words for each of you, what would you like men to be in the future, ideally?
3 words is going to be very difficult, but let me try. I think more humility, more empathy, and more respect in equal measure.
Just dropping the male card and just act as a, equal partner with women to encourage them.
Somebody who isn't judged for showing emotion, being vulnerable and crying, and isn't afraid to wear makeup.
Justin Trudeau. Justin!
Yeah, we're all in love with Justin.
Or Donald Trump. No, I'm kidding.
No, but really, if Justin should convince all the boys to be feminists, because we're all in love with Justin. Well, okay, he's cute too. It's cute too.
Good looking, yeah, so he's...
Okay, so following up on that, and I will close there, and then we'll take questions from the audience. Concrete stuff, solutions. What do you propose to the audience to change their boys, to change the men, to change the women? But I'd like us to be more on boys and men if possible. Jamshed, what should we do?
Well, I think, we have to understand that most of the men around at a certain age, by a certain age, you're already well set in your ways. And it is possible to change your attitude and change your conduct. I mean, 20 years ago, if somebody asked me, would I be doing this job that I am as UN Women representative in Pakistan, I wouldn't have thought it was something, one, I wanted to do, and secondly, I could do. So I think it's an evolution, and I think it is possible. The challenge I think we have is we have to be careful in not being too adversarial in enabling the men to come out and make mistakes, because as they are transitioning from their misogynistic or very sexist worldview, they will stumble and say dumb things. And I think we have to try and, rather than kind of really expose them, try to say, okay, fine, we're seeing you're making a move in the right direction. So I think it's encouraging that, and I will also say I think it's important to remember that behind every feminist man there is a long, long line of exasperated, exhausted women who have screamed and screamed until it finally clicked. So don't give up.
Salman.
I believe for the future the solution is that to stop trying to control things around and let things flow as your counterparts want it to be. For example, in every movement that you see around the world, take religion for example, you see women's rights being decided by male clerics throughout. May it be Christianity, may it be Islam, may it be anywhere. So that's because this patriarchal mindset and this misogynist mindset has been infused, that you somehow get to call that when a woman should get a divorce, when should she get an abortion, how many kids she should have, and what she should do for her life. There are very, very dismal laws, there are very, very dismal conditions in the world that are because of this fact that it's only men who are taking the decision. So it's time that women step up and they make their voice heard, and men accept that and give women the right to decide about their life, about their future, about their religion, according to how they see fit. That's what I think.
Sadia.
Something concrete, I think that language is something that I think about a lot, and this starts from your house, from your school. The way our language is gendered, so that obviously creates problems, but even within that, the way we talk to boys and the way we talk to girls is very different. You're a girl is often an insult, or you're acting like a girl, but you're a boy is often a tum ladke ho to ye kar lo, it's a means to access. So I think that sort of priming of the mind takes place at a very, very young age, from the cues you're getting from your parents, from your teachers, in the classroom. I want all of us to kind of pay more attention to the words we use, to define what femininity and masculinity look like.
Okay.
And
Lina.
I believe if you have a high percent of youth in society, they have to stop being lazy and complaining all the time and start social projects. So I believe in projects. I believe in sustainable businesses that can actually have solutions. If you have the majority, I don't know about Pakistan, it's the majority are youth, right? So if it's the same as the Middle East, we have majority of youth, but most of them are spending time just smoking, playing cards. But you have an energy. Why don't you put it in the community and make a change on real life? Don't stop, don't keep complaining and whining all the time, because you need to put this effort in society to make a big change.
Okay. I will give a few tips as well, since I'm here, First, I think you need to buy good books to your men. So I'm going to select a few of them, right? This one is amazing. This one is from Bell Hooks, who is an amazing Afro-American feminist. And she talks about the link between feminism, masculinity, and love. And it's really a wonderful book. So find it on Amazon or whatever, and offer it to the men you love around you and start to have this conversation with them. This is one of the books, and then somebody I really like a lot of as well is Michael Kimmel. He did a TED Talk on how gender equality is good for men too, and he did his guide to feminism with Michael Kaufman, who is another activist. But he's got a lot of very interesting book, and I think it also starts with this. Bell Hooks says that we have done a lot of gender awareness among women. We've been meeting among women for decades. But men don't have these self-awareness spaces, places where they can actually talk about their manhood, who they are, who they want to be, and that's what's hampering really the conversation. So find the good books. Tony Porter as well is A Call to Men. He wrote this book, Breaking Out of the Man Box. So all these books written by a man about what it means to be a man, that's an easy way to start the conversation with people around you.
We Should All Be Feminists by Shimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Yeah, definitely. Offer it to the men around you. It's so thin. It's just a TED Talk in a book. So anybody can read it in 1 hour. It's online. Yeah, it's online. Yeah. If you run a school, Duke University is offering courses for men, for boys, to actually deconstruct masculinity, because they realizes that in different public spaces, in different campuses in the US, the rate and the danger of rape on 1 woman out of 5. So there's really a problem with toxic masculinity and the way we think about consent. So they're teaching this. Can we teach this in Pakistan? Can we talk about masculinity and actually teach this in university, in schools in Pakistan? For me, that's one thing that we have to think about.
I would just like to add that on this point, like we have added, in Punjab, we have added chapters on gender-based violence in the grade 9 through 12 books, in which we are telling children what are the rights and responsibilities when you grow up as female citizens of Pakistan, male citizens of Pakistan, and what responsibilities do male citizens have. And especially we give them the education on what laws there are to take advantage of. So this was done last year, and now we're going to increase the scope of this in the other curriculum as well.
Okay, fantastic. So we need more men like this. Where are you? Where are the men in Pakistan standing up? Before this panel, I was like, I want a VIP from Pakistan who is vocal about gender equality and masculinity. I couldn't find one. I can find one in India and not in Pakistan. Guys, wake up. Really?
I think we should ask Jamshed Saab and Salman Saab to make a similar meme with their face on it.
I know.
Say,
We saw some in the UN Women picture, but we see a lot of men vocal about, okay, we have to protect women. I want men vocal about changing men. So where are you? If you want, in Lean In, Sheryl Sandberg, #2 of Facebook, she's very vocal as well. She did all these tips online called Lean In Together. So you can find tips for men, actually, men being like a 50-50 partner or being a 50-50 dad. So I want to ask somebody from Amal, who is another NGO here working on masculinity and on the power of dads. You all have dads, right? Okay, so let's see how we can change our dads. Because you know what I did? I organized TEDx Barcelona Women, and that's how I met Najam, and that's how I'm here in Pakistan. So, and I invited him to the second edition we did. The second edition, I did it on men on purpose, and it was get men involved in gender equity. I told my dad, okay, I don't care, no, I know you don't care about a feminist event, I know you don't want, but I force you, you have to come. So he came from Toulouse to Barcelona, and he listened, and after this, and there were men coming, no? Men from Men Engage, which is a huge alliance working on this, for example, and Gary Barker talking about the need for dads to be more involved in caregiving. And after that, you know, like men talking about this, he actually thought, you know, and he told me, you know, it's true, I never changed your diapers, I never took care of you, no? It was not my role was to make money, but actually, I never had that connection with you. I never had these moments, you know, like where I was actually, I don't know, connecting with you so much. And I could feel that he was, yeah, moved by this. So I do believe we need to change, and I'd like to know what you're doing in Amal, because I know you want to run a campaign on this, on fathers in Pakistan and change the image of fathers. Could you talk to us a little about this? Is the mic working? So this is the leaning on the tips for men as well, right? And changing images, so the visual images. And this is a whole campaign on, again, on leaning and getting images of showing men caring and the love that men have, because men have love, right? They love, right? Somehow, sometimes. Come on. Okay, can you explain it to us, Lou?
Hi, my name is Shahbaz Akbar, and I have served as National Coordinator for Men Engage Alliance in Pakistan. And we work with men and boys through many ways, media and religious leaders and community influencers, community leaders, and people who are running the Jirga and Panchayat system, the alternate dispute resolution systems. And in my work in past 7 years, I have found out that there are many men like who are caged in the man box, but I'm very impressed by Lina's statement that we should not complain all the time. So I will just get straight to the solution. I mean, considering the 48% population of Pakistan, which is the male population, and responsible for over 90% of the total violence. It could be terrorism, it could be domestic violence, it could be harassment. So one of the solutions that we tried to focus on was working with media. I think it's very important because most of our learnings and most of our perceptions and behaviors and attitudes are coming from media, where we see a very macho hero who is killing like 7-8 people on a daily basis and then sleeping it off like nothing happened. We started working with media. We sensitized some media partners, and we tried to create new content which was more gender equitable, which was more gender sensitive, which included some documentaries and some TV series, etc. Like there is a huge list.
So how are you going to show the dads of Pakistan? What do you want to show?
You showed some of the pictures here. So we focus on those dads who were working with us, or who we focus in our work. And these were those dads who believed that there is no difference between their daughter and their son. But just believing was not enough. So there were single dads who were mothers and fathers at the same time. And there were dads who were very poor and keeping up with economic pressure. They gave economic freedom to their daughters, and they gave them education. So these are some of the ways. So we highlighted those dads. We took their pictures. We made some photo series, and then we invited some talks within the community. Like so, for example, we are a community in the slum area of F6 in Islamabad. So there's a Christian dad who's very poor, and he has like 4 children. So we invited him for a show, for a talk within his community. So all of them listened to him, and then we made a documentary on that. So this
So
was just one
it's
example.
leveraging media, right?
Absolutely.
Leveraging
So
media
leveraging media.
and the
So
images
I
of
mean,
fathers, right?
So why am I saying media? Why am I focusing more on media? Because we have 180 million population in Pakistan. There are many NGO-tic projects running that can only focus some thousand people. They can only focus like 40 people, 40 women, 100 men or something like that. But I don't know, if all of the respected panelists here said that we need to get men out of the mailbox, who will tell men to get out of the mailbox?
Well, we
their
will.
Parents. So we are sitting here, just around 200 people, 150 people, and how many people are listening to us? Just these people.
Okay.
And so we need to increase our outreach, and we can't increase outreach working on individual level. We need to increase the outreach to working on massive level.
On massive level. Okay.
Also, the second solution that we should focus on is providing safe spaces for men where they can express emotions. We need to give them this freedom, because what I have felt in my work is that when men are not allowed to express emotions, so their box or their portion of emotions get blocked. So when they are beating up a woman, they don't feel what emotions she can feel after or during or before the beating.
Okay. Thank you.
So we need to provide men with more emotional freedom.
I will interrupt you here because they are looking at me
All
like,
right.
oh, we
Thank
need
you
to
so
cut.
much.
Thank you very much. Okay, so fathers, focus on the fathers. Media. So who is tweeting about this session? My God, where are you? You're not on Twitter? Who is on Twitter?
Some are tweeting. Yeah.
Okay, so who is tweeting about this session? Come on, share it, share the knowledge. All these slides, they're online. Check SOT, check the panel. On the Twitter, they are here. Share it. Share what you learned today. Take pictures. Share it with people. I mean, it should not stay only here. What? We don't have, I have a lot of audience questions, but we get to the end of the session. What I like now is that we take a selfie with the audience, and then we are here. We can answer your question on one-on-one here at the end. But really, share this knowledge as much as possible, because this should not stay here among these doors. Come with us at 4 p.m. Enjoy, have fun with Lina training.
Okay.
And let's do a selfie.
Who has a selfie stick?
Anybody has a selfie stick? Oh, come on.
Or if you don't have it, it's
selfie.
okay. I want you all to gather here so we take all of us selfie.
Yeah, can you come on the front? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for the time, for the panelists, the audience. I hope you had fun. And try to change one person at a time. Thank you very much.